Hi and welcome to a new episode. My name is Stefan Trifunovic and I'm going to help you get started with programming. Before we start, have you already listened to my top 5 reasons for becoming a programmer? You can find a link to it in the comment section below. Now, coming back to the topic of this video. After you have made some experience, you will probably have to decide what it is that you concretely want to focus on in the future. Do you want to learn how to build websites? Are you more passionate about iOS or Android apps? Would you like to learn how to develop video games? Or is it maybe something entirely else? There are different programming languages, there are different programming frameworks which were specifically designed for each of those areas. But let's be reasonable, you need to start somewhere. I suggest you make your life easier at the beginning by learning just one thing at a time. I strongly recommend that you start by learning how to develop simple static websites. In my opinion, this is the easiest but also the fastest way to collect your first experience with programming. You will be able to quickly see some results, which is quite important for you in order to stay tuned. This way, you should get a motivation boost to learn and discover even more. You can kick off with just a simple editor like Notepad++. In fact, I would advise you to use an editor in the beginning for learning the basics in order to make things as simple as possible. Once you feel comfortable, you can switch to Visual Studio Code, for example. It provides auto-completion feature in order to write your code faster. Additionally, it provides an overview of your HTML, CSS and JS files and many other features. Please start by following a tutorial on hypertext markup language, or in short just HTML. HTML describes the structure of a web page. HTML elements describe how the browser should display the content. To get off to a flying start, check the tutorial for HTML linked in the comment section of this video. My advice is learn the basics. Practice the syntax of HTML and just play around. Experiment a lot. This is the best way to learn new things and extend your horizons. Once you feel familiar with writing but also with reading HTML code, it's time to learn how to style the web page. In order to do this, check out the tutorial on cascading style sheets, or in short, just CSS. Like with HTML, the key to building professional websites in the future lies in understanding the basics. Be very patient and take your time. As you know, nothing can be achieved overnight. Okay, by now, if you follow those steps, you should be able to build good-looking styled websites. As the third step, you will want your website to be able to interact with the users. This can be achieved by using JavaScript. For example, on a button click, you might want to display a success message or basically perform any other action. Just to be on the same page, JavaScript can do much more, but in order to build simple, basic websites, this should be quite enough. And there we are. If you follow those 3 steps, you definitely will be able to build a website just on your own. Practically, you can already name yourself a junior front-end developer and apply for a job. I mean it, but I also want to stay realistic and be honest with you. You will have to learn a lot of other things in order to improve your skills to be able to build truly professional websites. But at this point, everything is up to you and your will to pursue this path. Create a website, just a demo website, something that you want to show to the companies when applying for a job. It could be your personal website, but you could also talk with people you are surrounded with, ask them whether they need a website for themselves or maybe their business. It is so important that once you have learned all of the basics, that you step out of the comfort zone of those tutorials and build your own projects, like just plan it and do it. At the end, this is the reason why you have learned all of this stuff. Be ready to face topics which are not clear at first sight. Be prepared to face issues and errors along the way. This is completely normal. How you handle all of those situations will at the end determine your success. Be consistent and don't give up. I can't stress enough how crucial this is. If you mean it seriously, please, as soon as you finish watching this video, start. Put on your headphones and start learning by listening to your favorite music, or maybe look for a silent room, whatever fits you best. In any case, just make sure to establish an environment which fits you the best, because you will have to focus only on this. Make your experience. Allow yourself to build your own picture about programming. In case it's too difficult for you to learn by following those tutorials, don't panic. There are plenty of courses out there which are not going to break the bank. You can find courses on web design, including HTML, CSS, and JS, for less than $20. Sometimes they come even cheaper, so maybe you should observe it for a while. Just be curious, just Google, find some learning platforms which are offering those kind of courses. I will of course put a link to Udemy in the comment section below, because it is one of the best learning platforms in my opinion. If you prefer books, check on the internet for web design books, but make sure that they include at least HTML, CSS, and JS. Be careful, you don't want to buy a book which was built for people with already advanced knowledge and just lose your motivation. You should definitely take a look on Amazon. Try to discover what works best for you and use it. Whichever methodology you decide to go with in the end, just make sure to stay motivated and don't give up. Don't forget to take breaks, right? It's important to focus on something if you work on it, but if you're not able to fix an issue for hours, then probably it makes sense for you to take a break. Also, I'm begging you to not lose your focus on learning other programming languages, other frameworks while you're doing this. Now, why do I say this? I can tell you from my own experience that this can only lead to motivation loss, because you're going to think about all those other languages which you don't know at the moment, and about the fact that there is so much to learn. There is no programmer who knows everything. I can promise you that. Like with anything else, learning is a natural process which just needs time. Programming languages and frameworks, they're constantly changing, right? New ones are evolving. There is no way for you to master all of them. Instead, be patient and take it easy at the beginning. You will learn everything you need or you have interest in. Once again, remember that you don't need to know everything. This is just not realistic nor needed in the real life. There is not a position, just a single position called programmer, which is responsible for doing everything and delivering the work all by himself. Try to master things one by one and specialize in the area which you think fits you the most or which you just find most interesting. One tip that I want to share with you guys is organize your work. Just create a plan for yourself. If you're serious about this, don't leave it to chance. Make it a 2-hour session, for example, twice, maybe 3 times per week. You will know the best how much time you can invest. Don't forget that repetition and consistency are the key factors for your success. As you could take from this video, it is not easy. Nobody is saying it's easy, especially if you don't dedicate yourself enough, if you don't dedicate enough time to do it. If you just do it for a few days, you most probably are not going to make it. But on the other side, if you sacrifice, let's say, 2 to 3 months just for learning how to develop websites, you will be proud of what you have learned and achieved. Please note that you don't have to start your programming adventure by learning how to develop a website, right? It can be anything else. This is just a suggestion. It's just my opinion based on experience. If you feel comfortable enough to skip this and start somewhere else, then that's great. It's really up to you. Just keep in mind that whatever you decide to do, don't skip the basics. Because in the long term, it is going to suck all the fun out of you, out of programming, and most probably it will cause even more damage than if you would have learned it in the first place. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and I appreciate that. So that will do for me. Let me know in the comments if you have any kind of questions or if you want to share your own experience. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.